Today we're going to talk about how to safely mail trading cards. This will work for Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, Magic, whatever you want. And it's pretty straightforward, but despite that, you'd be surprised how often people will mail stuff in a way that does not guarantee the card arrives safely. So we're going to go over supplies to use and kind of some tips in packaging them up. So the main things you'll want to make sure you have are soft sleeves, a hard case of some sort, or a top loader, and tape, and then some secure packaging. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a soft sleeve, and the reason that we want to use a soft sleeve specifically is to protect the card from rub when it's being taken in and out of the hard case. The hard case is going to keep the card from getting bent in transit. It'll have a little bit of give, but for the most part it'll keep it from getting crushed in a machine. A fun little additional thing that I like to use that I've only more recently become aware of, but I think is a really good tip, is to have some kind of little pull tab on the sleeve. So what we're going to do is we're going to just apply this to the back. And then what that's going to do is when the card is in the hard case, going to make it really easy when the card reaches the buyer or the person you've traded with for them to just pull it out. Otherwise, without that, it can be a little bit of a hassle. So the other thing that we want to use is some kind of tape to seal it up once it's in there. So we'll go ahead and get this all packaged up. And this is also a way to keep your business card nice and flat if you have one. We're just going to slip all this in there to keep it nice and safe. And then once it's in there nice and flat and secure, you're going to take a tape. You can use regular Scotch tape. I do kind of prefer washi tape for one simple reason. You know, hard cases and stuff like that, you can reuse those if you receive stuff in the mail. But often if you receive them in the mail, they will come with tape, just, you know, Scotch tape or whatever on them. And sometimes you can't take the tape off, or sometimes it'll leave a sticky residue. But if you use a washi tape, then when the recipient receives the card, they can very easily pull that off and it won't leave any kind of residue, and they won't have to risk damaging the card if they have to cut the tape off. I know that I've had cards arrive where the card has like shifted up and is basically falling out of the top loader, which is another reason that you do for sure want to tape the card in there, because the last thing you want is for you to go through all the effort putting in a top loader and a soft sleeve and then have it get there and this much of the card is sticking out the top because it's shifted around in transit. So that little bit of tape, whether it's washi or Scotch, will keep the card in the hard case so that it doesn't actually come out. And you can tape one side or both, whichever you prefer. But I do think that's a step that often gets overlooked and is a really easy precaution to take to ensure that the card arrives safely. So once you've got it in your soft sleeve, a little pull tab, which is optional but encouraged, tape, which the washi part is optional but otherwise very strongly encouraged to have some kind of tape to keep it from sliding out. Now it is all set and ready to go. So then the last thing you'll need is a bubble mailer of some kind, and you'll just slide that in there and peel it off and seal it up. And then this size will easily fit a PayPal label if you're printing the shipping yourself, or you can, it will also fit a post office sticker label. If you're going to the post office, something that they will probably suggest to you if you're physically mailing it in person, is also to line the inside of a soft mailer like this with a cardboard or something, just to kind of keep it a little more sturdy for when it's going through the machines and stuff. But I would say that's optional, but encouraged if you have it. Anyway, that is how to mail a card. If you're doing a regular envelope, all of these steps are the same, but then you would just slide it into a regular envelope. I would also say if you're mailing a regular envelope and don't necessarily need tracking on it, because maybe you say it's a less expensive card, maybe under $5 to $10. Anything over 10 to 15, I would recommend shipping with tracking, just to be safe. But if it's a less expensive card and you're shipping it without tracking, just in a regular plain white envelope, then you can also get these top mailers, which are a little more flexible and thinner. Full comparison, just a smidge thinner. And those are supposed to machine better, like run through the machines better without causing less risk of it getting stuck in a machine. But yeah, those are my tips for mailing. If you have any other tips for securely mailing trading cards, then feel free to drop them in the comments. Thanks for watching, and I hope this was helpful. Bye!